In a shocking break from royal tradition, King Charles has come under fire for his secret outreach to Meghan Markle, a move experts are calling unheard of for a reigning monarch. The gesture, made without consulting senior royals, has ignited a firestorm of criticism, fractured palace unity, and sent shockwaves through royal circles. Historians warn the monarchy faces a crisis of credibility, as Charles's personal instincts collide with the rigid expectations of institutional leadership and legacy. The explosion, King Charles publicly criticized over Meghan. In a rare and explosive twist, King Charles III is facing public criticism from senior royal experts, a move described as unheard of in modern monarchy. The backlash began after reports surfaced that Charles extended private invitations to Meghan Markle without the knowledge or approval of key royal figures. According to insiders, the king reached out to Meghan directly, bypassing both Prince William and Queen Camilla, a decision seen as reckless by royal observers. One historian remarked, "Never in modern royal history has a reigning monarch made overtures to a family dissenter without institutional backing." Behind palace walls, this move was described as a betrayal of protocol and a break from the delicate unity the family has fought to maintain. For many within the royal circle, this wasn't just a breach of etiquette, it was a crack in the very foundation of trust, hierarchy, and legacy. Behind the curtain, what Charles secretly offered Meghan. Leaked documents reveal what Charles's outreach entailed and why it sparked fury inside the palace. Sources say the king offered private access to royal estates, including Sandringham and Balmoral, for Meghan and her children. There was no formal apology, no structured reconciliation, just quiet invitations and gestures of goodwill. According to aides, Charles believed in healing the narrative through inclusion, not confrontation. But that quiet strategy backfired spectacularly, not because of the content, but because of the method. Key royals like William and Camilla were left entirely in the dark. Royal advisors weren't briefed. There was no strategy, no alignment, just personal diplomacy in a rigid institution. And when that kind of move comes from the very top, it doesn't create harmony. It creates confusion and anger. William was blindsided and furious. Prince William reportedly discovered his father's outreach to Meghan from a third party. He wasn't consulted, he wasn't informed, and he was, according to palace insiders, furious. He felt undermined, one source said. He believes unity must be shown, especially at the top. William sees himself as the monarchy's guardian, especially in the wake of Megxit and the reputational blows that followed. To him, Charles's solo move wasn't a gesture of peace. It was a message of weakness. Insiders say William told aides, "This isn't about forgiveness, it's about precedent." What message does it send to the world and the institution if a monarch makes emotional exceptions for someone who attacked the crown from afar? The consequences were immediate. A planned meeting between Charles and William was abruptly cancelled. The atmosphere inside the palace? Icy and unstable. Camilla felt erased and threatened. Queen Camilla was blindsided, and she didn't take it quietly. According to sources close to her office, she was entirely excluded from the discussions regarding Meghan's potential re-entry into royal spaces. Camilla, who was personally attacked during Meghan's media campaign, views this decision not as compassion, but as a deep betrayal. She reportedly told senior aides, "If she returns, I go silent. That's the line." Camilla's frustration isn't rooted in jealousy, it's rooted in principle. For her, this isn't about Meghan. It's about the integrity of the monarchy and the trust required to protect it. To be excluded from this pivotal conversation was, for Camilla, a sign that Charles had chosen emotion over duty. And that choice, she believes, puts the dignity of the crown at risk. Expert reaction. This is unprecedented for a reigning monarch. The criticism wasn't limited to palace halls. Leading royal historians and constitutional experts immediately weighed in, and their verdict was severe. Dr. Hilary Mantel, a renowned constitutional scholar, stated, "A monarch never reconciles through back-channel emotion. That's for heirs, not heads of state." Another former royal courtier echoed the sentiment, "The crown doesn't beg. It either absolves silently or not at all." Across royal circles, one theme dominated. Reconciliation must come through structure, not sentiment. By engaging privately and informally with Meghan, Charles blurred the critical line between father and sovereign. And in the monarchy, blurred lines cause cracks, and cracks cause collapses. Experts agree. This move is not just risky. It could be institutionally damaging. What's more alarming is the precedent it sets. If Charles can circumvent royal protocol for personal reasons, what stops future monarchs from doing the same? The monarchy thrives on consistency, ritual, and restraint, not spontaneity. Royal analysts now fear Charles's actions could weaken his position on other major matters, including succession and public trust. As one observer put it bluntly, this wasn't a bridge-building exercise. It was a breach. Meghan's response wasn't humble. It was calculated. Meghan Markle did not greet King Charles's outreach with grace or restraint. Instead, she responded with conditions. Sources close to the palace say her reply was swift, strategic, and carefully constructed, signaling negotiation rather than reconciliation. She reportedly sought control over press exposure, approval of photographs, authority over narrative framing, and expanded security assurances for herself and her children. One aide summarized the mood bluntly. She didn't want to rejoin the family. She wanted to rewrite the script. Rather than conveying a desire to heal old wounds, the response resembled a contract discussion, complete with boundaries, leverage, and expectations. Inside Buckingham Palace, the message landed heavily. What many had feared was now confirmed. This was not about rebuilding trust or restoring family ties. It was about control over image, story, and power. Adding to the tension, her tone was described as clinical, not emotional, as if the monarchy were a brand needing repositioning, not a family seeking reconnection. To some insiders, it reinforced the perception that Meghan views royal life as a platform, not a responsibility. And for the monarchy, that distinction may prove unforgivable. The risk to monarchy's stability. Why Charles's move shakes the foundation. Royal historians are sounding the alarm, not because of the drama, but because of the dangerous precedent being set. Reintegrating a royal without accountability, they argue, signals a future where titles are divorced from loyalty and access is granted without trust. Charles's emotional diplomacy could weaken the very structure he vowed to uphold. It undermines William's authority, fractures internal alliances, and reopens wounds long thought buried. One former royal advisor stated bluntly, "You cannot preserve the institution while bending it around a single individual's feelings." And that individual, Meghan, has built a global platform on challenging the monarchy, not protecting it. If re-entry is granted under her terms, the line between duty and celebrity dissolves. And when that happens, the crown stops being a symbol and becomes a stage. The public reaction. silence speaks louder than support. When news of Charles's private offer reached the public, the reaction wasn't cheers. It was concerned silence. There was no statement from William, no show of unity from Catherine. And that absence was louder than any headline. Royal watchers noted the lack of coordinated messaging, the tight lips from palace aides, and the swift pivot away from questions about Meghan. On social media, hashtags like #Stand with Wales and #Protect the Monarchy began trending, while public polls showed a notable dip in approval for Charles's leadership among core royal supporters. As one commentator wrote, "The people weren't waiting for Meghan to return. They were hoping the door had closed." What should have been a symbolic gesture of healing instead felt like a crack in the crown's armor. And the public noticed. The palace in lockdown mode, and damage control begins. In the aftermath, Buckingham Palace entered what insiders described as crisis containment. The phrase of the day became "no comment." Charles's aides stopped returning media requests. Camilla's team subtly distanced themselves from the decision, and several upcoming royal appearances were quietly rescheduled. Behind closed doors, an emergency meeting was called. High-ranking palace officials, including William, demanded clarity on the king's plans and a halt to any further private outreach. According to reports, one senior staffer warned, "This is how institutions fall, from within, not from the outside." While Charles remains silent publicly, the internal pressure is mounting, not just to manage the optics, but to reassert royal order before deeper cracks form. The goal now? Contain the fallout before it reaches global diplomatic circles or causes further damage to the monarchy's future. What comes next? The crown's future hangs in balance. As the dust begins to settle, one truth is becoming clear. King Charles's decision may have lasting consequences for the crown. It's no longer just about Meghan. It's about what the monarchy represents moving forward: tradition or adaptation, emotion or institution, legacy or compromise. Prince William now stands at a crossroads. Does he back his father's instincts or step in to protect the institution he is destined to lead? Experts believe that unless firm boundaries are restored, Meghan's re-entry could trigger lasting division, not just within the family, but among Commonwealth supporters and constitutional allies. Whispers of restricting her access again have already begun behind closed doors. And if trust isn't rebuilt, that option may become official policy. As one royal biographer put it, this wasn't just unorthodox, it may prove to be unrecoverable. The monarchy, once defined by silent strength, now faces a new kind of challenge, one born not from scandal, but from sentiment. And the world is watching what comes next. As the monarchy grapples with mounting pressure, Charles's quiet attempt at reconciliation may have unleashed more chaos than clarity. With William blindsided, Camilla furious, and experts alarmed, the crown now stands at a dangerous crossroads. What was intended as a personal olive branch has become a public controversy, raising serious concerns about leadership, tradition, and the future of the royal family. As insiders brace for further fallout, one truth is clear. This isn't just royal drama. It's a test of the monarchy's core stability in a new, unforgiving era.